You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
He can't pronounce your last name, Michael.
Michael Arceneaux.
It was close.
Damn it, man.
Arceneaux, but we was almost there. Yes.
What is it?
That's close.
Arceneaux.
Arceneaux.
That's what I said.
Well,
Nah.
and he can barely pronounce Michael, so just be glad he got that.
Shut
close.
I love the title of your book, my
I
brother.
appreciate that. My mom does not, so thank you.
Why I Can't Date Jesus. And why doesn't your mom like the title of the book?
My mom is a devout Catholic, so I have a book called I Can't Date Jesus,
Right.
and I'm a practicing homosexual, so you can imagine how that might have gone for her.
You also could have been a priest.
Yes, I was approached for the priesthood at 20. I'm definitely not a priest.
You turned it down?
Yeah, he
Clearly.
wanted me to be a priest and a Q, so I write about that in the book. In hindsight, I realized that's why he wore so much purple. But yes, it was a black priest named Father Marty with a curly wig who said he saw a priest in me because I literally always had to go to church.
You might be anointed, though. You don't have to be a priest to be anointed. He saw that favor on you.
I'm good on the Catholic Church. Their PR rep is not that great right now, so I'd rather be a heathen with a kind heart.
Nah, I feel you 100%.
And you also were a virgin at the time still. At some point, you were like, I got to experience.
Yes, a lot of the book is learning how to hoe without the fear of God. So
Catholic priests hold without the fear of God all the time.
that's
do have the
that's
fear of God.
SVU. I don't want crimes on me. It's like pedophilia. No, I think for me, I grew up. I had a really early exposure to AIDS. I write about that in the book, and I grew up really Catholic. So I knew I was gay, but I never wanted to really act upon it because I thought like death, you die when you have sex or you go to hell. So I was kind of really messed up in the head. So part of the book is it's a lot of different things touching the book, but it's like forging my identity through my sexuality. And like that's actually where the title comes from, a conversation I had with my mom where she knows that I'm born gay, but kept saying, if you have sex, you might get hit by a bus and I don't know where you're going. It was like, well, girl, I can't date Jesus. What do you want me to do?
Right.
So, yeah, it's just about having pleasure and
What
like
does
having a
sex
cool
got
life.
to do with getting hit by a bus?
Well, she said if I had
Is that
sex
how
with
it
a man,
feels?
then I might get hit by a bus and like die. So like the sin of like having like
Oh,
sex
I see
She's
what you're
trying,
would send me to hell.
What she's saying is
yeah.
being a homosexual, that means that he's going to end up going to hell.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah,
What's
so
your
what?
relationship with your mom
It's
now?
amazing to me that everybody in the Bible everybody ignores the scripture, thou shalt not judge, when it comes to homosexuality.
My mom hasn't read the book. I actually went home to Houston for a book event. So a lot of times, typically when you talk about like people coming out, it's kind of like either way. You either are fully accepted or you are completely rejected. And what is that weird gray area like? So I could put it like this. My mom and I are as fine as we can be. I know underneath everything that she literally is just loving me the best way she knows how to. I think the thing about her and where we differ is that her version of religion has kept her alive, and I respect that because I admire her more than anyone on the planet. But I think her religion makes me not want to live, and we can't meet that middle, and so we do the best that we can. So we don't really talk about the
What
book.
about your dad?
Woo.
That nigga don't read. But no, so I write about my a lot of chaos in the home, a lot of some stuff that's not the best. We as cool as we can be. He calls every so often. He talks like a hurricane. Well, hey, that boy, you doing all right? How that weather? You need anything? I got you. He still threatens to stab people for me, which is really sweet.
That's good. Yeah,
Very
that's
sweet. We're as good as we can be. We don't really talk that much about other stuff, but we're actually good. And I actually think he cares less about the gay thing than she does, which is a plot twist in the book.
She loves religion more than she loves, I don't want to say loves her son, but kind of, right?
No, I won't say that because I think ultimately she thinks she's saving my soul, and I genuinely respect that. Like, I respect religion. I think a lot of brilliant people can be religious. I think also at the same time a lot of brilliant people suspend their better senses when they are religious.
Yes.
I think in a lot of cases, and she would probably hit me with a Bible on sight for this, but I think to me, with a lot of people, if you question that part of religion, then you question other things. And
Right.
if faith is all you have and if faith is what keeps you going, then that can unravel. And that's a very scary thought. So even if we're incapable of having this type of conversation, I do respect where she's coming from. Because one thing I want to do about in the book is be honest, but be respectful to my parents. I really, truly wanted to understand why they are the way that they are and how not to be that way so I could break that pattern. And I think my aunts have read it. My auntie said I was respectful and honest. So if you got a respectful from your auntie, then I'm actually okay. So they may never read it, but I tried.
There might be things that were hard for them to read about in that book, though, like your first sexual encounter.
Yeah, I don't really want my mom to read about me, like, trying
I don't
want to
read about my mom's first sexual encounter, so we even. Like, that's what you should tell her.
Well, she's not going to read it anyway, so it's fine. Like, she comes from the school of you don't tell your business, because information can be a weapon.
That's true.
She might be worried about white people using it against me one day or something. I don't know.
It's people, period. Twitter.
Yeah. So I get it. It's just I needed to kind of speak out. I think the thing is, like, they never really talked about anything, and that tortured them to me. So why do the same thing to myself?
I feel the same way. Like, I like to be free with things that happened in my life, experiences that happened in my life. And she's right, though. People will weaponize it against you sometimes.
Yeah, they will, but she know me. I'll be all right.
And, you know, suppressing things is something that has hindered you for so long and hinders a lot of people also.
It does. It's been interesting, like, the responses. I've gotten a lot of responses from, obviously, other queer Black people, but randomly a lot of white evangelicals. Not randomly, actually, because religion is religion. You know, a lot of times it might not just be sex. It could be anything. Like, you do things that sometimes you don't completely, like, own who you are. I think the book is a lot about, we're all taught to be one way, and then we come to realize who we actually are. And sometimes that's a bigger conflict than others. So for me, you know, I really did have a lot of paranoia. And the reality is, like, a lot of gay, Black, and Latinx people are dying from HIV/AIDS. It's a very real issue. But for me, I just kept letting fear control me. It was like fear of not talking about my dad getting drunk and getting wild in the house. It was fear of, like, going ahead. It was always this fear. And I'm not really an innately fearful person, but I let these things control me for so long. And then finally, I just, like, you have to at least try. I just felt contained. Literally like the burglar bars that used to be in my house. That's kind of felt on the inside. Not to be fake deep, but that's how it felt.
The what?
Like, I have the burglar bars in my house. Like,
the burglar?
Burglar bars.
So
I'm country.
Burglar
bars. Yes, I'm country.
Yeah, burglar bars. Okay.
That's the Beyonce twang in me, yeah.
Now, what did you mean when you say you got exposed to HIV at an early age?
My uncle died of AIDS when I was 6.
And how did your dad describe it?
But what was it, from needles or was it?
This is good because he's from the South. So I'm from the South, so I already know how he described it.
It was a mix of both. He was gay, but he wasn't. He was a heroin addict. It was just basically faggot. I'm glad that actually while writing the book, I had a conversation with my sister. My sister's 9 years older than me, so she remembers a lot more. She was saying that actually my dad and my uncle were actually really tight. I think I realized in hindsight my dad was speaking from a place of anger. This was also 1990.
Everybody was so ignorant about HIV and AIDS in the 90s.
A lot of people were still ignorant because actually I've actually never said this. I don't care if they hear it. One of my cousins, I found out, went up to my dad and was like, your son bragging about being gay on the internet. And my dad knew not to call me with that bullshit, but he talked to my sister. That's sometimes how he communicates to me. He actually took up for me, which I was like, that old thug said that? And she was like, yes. So it was like.
What did he say?
He was like, I know my boy is gay. I don't care as long as he happy. I was like, he said that?
Well, that's what you want, though.
No, that was beautiful. He just don't normally talk like that.
Right, will he say that to you?
No. I think I've never brought a dude home, so we'll see how that goes. But I actually think he'd be fine.
Are you going to bring one home soon? Like, is there somebody you dating that you're going to bring home to Christmas or Thanksgiving?
I like someone, but we're not there yet on, like, bringing the family. If you really like somebody, I wouldn't do that to them and bring them around my
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Not for Thanksgiving.
There are family members that actually want me to bring somebody home. Like, my mom doesn't ask that, but my aunts. Well, one year my cousin was like, you fucking anybody? Like, literally at Christmas. And then the next year, my aunt.
Christmas dinner?
Yeah, literally. And then the next year, my aunt was like, while my mom was there, she was whispering, are you seeing anyone? You're handsome. Like, it's cold there. Don't be cold.
She's basically telling you it's cuffing season.
Yes.
Go get you something to keep you warm, Michael.
I was literally like, Tasha said that, asked me, was I fucking about? She's like, yeah, that's what I meant, but your mom was right there and she scares me. So there are family members that are like, don't be alone. Don't have like a dusty dick, which is sweet. Progress on everybody's own time.
See, that'd be amazing, especially at Thanksgiving. Pass the stuffing, Michael.
But you know what?
What you mean?
Disappointed me about you, Michael, in this book. You do not like giving blowjobs.
What?
Whoa,
What?
okay.
Excuse me?
What
What'd you say?
you sound like you're upset about
Here
this.
we
What'd
go.
you say?
Here we go.
You say you don't?
Why are you
really.
asking?
That's
Because I'm going to
so
treat him the
selfish of
same
you.
way I would treat a woman
That's
if
a
a woman told me she don't do
But
that.
she's asking the
Wait a
question.
minute. What comes with, like, shouldn't you get pleasure out of pleasuring?
Now wait.
How
Angela.
dare you, Michael?
Oh, already?
It's not a chore. I
We
know
was
it's a
getting good. It was-
blowjob, but it's not a chore.
Okay, look. I don't think most dicks look good. Like, most dicks are ugly to me. I don't really like them. I don't like giving head, but if I really like you, I will.
That's
and I'm
how it should
good
be,
at
though.
it. I got big teeth, but I know how to open. So I don't love it, but love is giving. I do it right if I have
That's
to.
how it should be. You can't just go around sucking random dicks. You suck the
No,
dick
but
you
he
love.
said but look, he doesn't really like
These
it.
are all.
You're supposed
we're gonna use
to
all these
love it
sign
when
bi-
you're with
sign bites.
somebody.
I will. Well, you know what? I
is
have
great.
loved it when I like the person.
Okay, there you go.
Yes,
That's it.
and I got good Yelp reviews on it, so it's like
You have good. What?
Yelp reviews on it.
This is crazy.
So what makes a pretty dick?
He said they're not.
This is great.
I like mine. Not to be.
So you think your dick is pretty and other people's?
No. The first dick I ever sucked was really nice.
Okay. So you were spoiled.
Yeah, it was nice.
What's nice, like veins?
So where can I go? I can't ask you because then it's harassment, right?
I
can't say
don't really
anything to you,
stare
right?
that long because
talking
I'd
to
rather look at
Michael.
the
Hush.
ass.
Michael, talk.
What about uncircumcised? Does that matter?
I've never seen one with the extra cap. I don't know. Although
Charlamagne actually had an extra
No
hood.
cap.
No capping.
I've actually never seen a dick with a fitted up close. Never
Is that
seen.
what you call it? This is great. This is great. This is wonderful.
But why can't? So is I Can't Date Jesus? Is it a religious book, or are you just saying that you
I write about religion.
Because it played a large part in your life
Yeah.
at one point.
So the book begins with like a prologue. It's the first time I had been to church in like 5 Beyonce albums. I went to a church called First Corinthians in Harlem. So I write about that literally being the version of Christianity I wish I had as like a child, or even as a young adult. And it was beautiful, like, because it's one thing for, I think a lot of times for queer people to be like tolerated but actually accepted, but I could tell people were actually accepted. So shout out to Pastor Mike about that, but I'm not saved. I think by the time I went to that church, I had already developed my own sense of like spirituality. And I know sometimes that can sound like a bullshit answer, but I'm very clear about the book. Like I leave room for gray even about God. Like I believe there is something bigger than us because I think there's just so much beauty and goodness in people around, but I don't really assign a lot of the characteristics to God that I grew up in.
Do you get offended by jokes a lot, or not too much? Because you seem like you dive right in with them.
It depends on the joke and the intent. But we usually go, no, you got a joke?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm just going back and
Could
forth.
go
And
left.
and you seem lighthearted and fun with it, and some people are not. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I'm usually cool. I mean, I try to have a good temper. I've tamed my inner Chris Brown. I used to have a lot of anger, so this is me at like 34. I can be with the shits though, but I'm good.
You
You
said
call
you weren't
Beyonce
too
your
fond.
Lord and gyrator?
Yes,
I love that.
under her eye.
You said you
Under
weren't
her
too.
eye.
That's a Handmaid's Tale reference. I couldn't
He
finish
doesn't-
that show, but yes.
You said you weren't too fond of like men on film and spoofs like that on In Living Color.
No, I mean, okay, so
You didn't like Men on Film?
and like now I can be like hated it, but like back then, it was literally. I mean, honestly, now like you
How
can't.
old were you then? You 34 now?
I'm like 6, 7, but like my sister's like 9 years older. You could read in the house. Like I grew up pretty quickly, so the thing about In Living Color, it's like that was perpetuating a really negative stereotype about gay black men. It was like the effeminate gay black man. I've like since then I realized like there's nothing necessarily wrong with like the image of effeminate gay men because that's a lot of people's reality. There's nothing wrong with that. And I write about Beyonce even helping me become more comfortable with things that are considered feminine. I just think at the time, you only saw gay men dying or to be mocked. And if you're black and gay, you still don't really have anything on television that centers you directly. And that's made in a way that people like. The thing about this book is, it was a hard time getting it sold because everyone used very nice language to say you're gay and black, which means you're too niche, which is a nice way of saying like, white people don't care or like black people are too homophobic. And I rejected both of those notions because some people actually told me that directly.
Who are these people? So you can put them on blast and make them lose their jobs?
I'm trying to sell book too, so I'm gonna play nice. But so I just think that's all I saw. And so if that's all you see, especially if you're struggling with something, like those images a little bit, they could be funny, but they were also hurtful because when you go out, I mean, for me, a lot of time, like I didn't grow up with money, so pop culture was my access point. That's a lot of people's access point. So if that's all you see, that's how you treat. Like I've been in fights with people who thought I was gonna be like that.
Interesting perspective, because I mean, because you're gay, so you see it a different way. Like I just thought it was funny, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean and there's humor in it, but I also think that that's the only thing available, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I like a sassy savage. I like I don't know if Lil Uzi gay, but that's my favorite. Just the way he acts.
with the shimmy.
Yeah,
I
man.
actually really like the shimmy.
Yeah, man. Just the way he moved, and he be with the shits, be wanting to fight. Like
Yeah.
that's what I like.
You just made him gay. We don't know if he's gay, all right?
I'm just saying I like that energy.
Oh,
is
that's
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Like I can watch it now and be fine with it, but it wasn't good at the time. It was literally that Pedro Zamora dying. There was Karamo Brown, and then I can't think of anything else.
Who are those people?
Well, from the real world, and now he's on that show on Netflix. I'm so sorry. Queer Eye. I should have known that. Sorry, gays. Yeah, it wasn't that much out there. Still not.
So you said that you were born gay,
yes,
right? And you struggled with that. Even at 5 years old, you had an experience. And I do, because I was trying to figure this out, right? Because a lot of times we'll get into that, but at the age of 5, things do happen, and you don't know anything about sexuality at all.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you ask any straight kid, did they play doctor? Did they have crushes on little girls? What do they do? Most people will have an answer.
Not at 5.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that like, because Janet Jackson is also one of my centers. I mean, she did this old interview. She said she always felt very sexual as a child. She had these feelings, but she couldn't. Like, it's not unheard of. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's stigmatized further because it's like people of the same sex. Mm-hmm. Because you really don't see overt displays of sexuality from like, particularly like gay men. Mm-hmm. You don't see that on TV still, so it's still, like, it makes people uncomfortable. So at like 5, I was just naturally curious. There was a girl like the other day, because I've never been a napper, like doctor with like a little girl. I'm like, this isn't as fun with that little boy. And so, yeah, I knew, I didn't necessarily have the language, but I knew I like boys more than girls.
I'm confused. So you played with a little girl. You didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
Played with a little boy and you was...
No, I said I love that more. No, right. that was great. She wasn't as fun.
The little boy was better.
Yeah.
The little boy was better.
We would have just been talking about Paul Abdul and Janet.
I was thinking about these 2 guys I grew up with, and when we were maybe like 11 years old, mm-hmm. one of them told me the other one performed oral sex on him, and he didn't really know it was his first time. And but I was like, I wonder if they were just experimenting or if they...
I think that's more so what that is. I hope so, because, I didn't do all
that.
What
age?
Yeah, I didn't do all that. But
11.
Goodness gracious.
He was like, I heard this feels really good.
That means that they was hearing too much and they wanted to. That's a curiosity, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So that's when you know it can be a kind of a learned behavior, too, though, right? I mean, I believe people are born gay, but I do believe it can be a learned behavior as well.
What do you mean by that? Follow
what
up
you just said. Like,
okay.
The guy's 11.
Yeah.
He heard it, felt good. Like,
yeah.
Got a little curious.
I don't necessarily know if that's learned behavior so much as it is people being curious about sexuality. And I think a lot of times people don't necessarily have, particularly men, don't have space to be curious because maybe a 1 or 2 off act results in like some label. Because maybe somebody tries something, they just don't like it. But then they might be tagged as this thing for the rest of their life. That's kind of unfair.
Do you feel that way? If a guy tries it, he's...
No.
And there's such a double standard.
There are plenty of gay men that have tried women and it didn't work out so good. So why wouldn't the opposite work?
It's such a double standard with women, like experimenting with other women, and people are totally fine with that.
because people like to consume that because it plays into male fantasies.
I think Envy tried it, man. Because his nostrils got mad big. He was like...
You're very straight.
But you know what else I noticed too in reading this book? It feels like you think gaydar is a real thing because
I don't have that. I'm not.
Because it seems like, but some of the guys you mentioned, I guess you only mentioned the ones that you approached that did turn out to have some interest.
Well, I've always had to approach men. Men don't approach me. I was told I had resting bitch face by a very progressive straight man.
Really?
He said I had resting bitch face. A straight man told me that actually.
I love gay lingo though. That don't mean nothing.
I know it don't.
I say trade.
I don't think resting bitch face is gay lingo.
Who taught you trade? I wouldn't want to.
Listen, I love gay men. I'm gonna be honest with you. Everybody in this room knows it. Okay, I mean that's no secret. I think
he's tried it one time. I think he wants to try.
They're hilarious.
You try?
Huh?
That doesn't get.
What?
Nothing. I think you want.
You know what I love about gay men, honestly?
This is actually the stuff that in the I can't date Jesus. Stop doing this, y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck with y'all.
What am I doing?
I'm messing with y'all.
Why do you love gay men,
Just
Charlamagne?
stereotyping.
I love gay men because gay men are free.
Not
free.
Not always. Sometimes.
Free. They don't
sometimes
give a
not.
fuck.
And in reading this book, it took you a long time to get.
I'm talking about the ones that are.
Yeah. No. I think I could see that. I mean, if especially if you're black and gay, you already got 2 strikes against you. So to be comfortable with yourself and to live fully out loud and not really concern yourselves with what everybody else thinks, there is a certain freedom that most people don't experience because you have to, because you're literally pushed against the wall. So you make a choice. And I respect that.
You see who I got on? You see who I got up there? You see who that is?
Yes.
You see who that is? That's Kid Fury. Okay? It's my spirit animal.
Gayness all around.
There you go.
Were you bullied as a kid a lot or no?
Huh?
Were you bullied as a kid?
Not really. I mean, people mess with me like they mess with kids, but it's like I would fight you. So if I'm literally fighting my pops, I will fight you. So yeah.
You fought your pops before?
Well, I'm just saying, like, when stuff would happen in the house, yeah, people tried it. Like, I mean, people thought I was soft, but then
people always think gay people are soft.
But then you had resting
and they
face.
always get a rude awakening.
You could. I've been in a lot of fights.
You got them hands?
I ain't fought in a long time. But I ain't a bitch. I wasn't raised to be like that. So, and I also think sometimes people know, like, this, you might have a little trouble just in case. But honestly, I wasn't really bullied like that. I mean, some people said stuff, but it wasn't like some gross number. I don't have like bad memories about school. Most people, like, I kind of floated around, so I knew everybody.
I like this article you wrote for Fada. You said Frank Ocean is not your symbol. Because I feel the same way. I don't know why everybody started making Frank Ocean like some
people want a
poster
hero.
child. Yeah.
I get it, because there's still nobody really there in like that space, like that Frank occupies. But I think if somebody is very like intentional about not having a label, not trying to speak directly about stuff, then don't assign it to him. Like, wait it out. Somebody else will come. Like, he's opening the door for that person that you do want. But people got to chill out.
Why do you think people are still so scared to be out?
I mean, it's still like that popping to be gay, and it's just like gay and black. I mean, the suicide rates are really high under the Sweet Potato Saddam administration. Queer violence is going up.
You said Sweet Potato Saddam.
I usually don't like to say his name. So in the book, there's a whole list of names. In the chapter, Sweet Potato Saddam, it's a whole list of names you can call him instead of that. I don't like his name.
Sweet Potato Saddam.
Charlamagne approved.
But what's great is, so what do you hope that people get when they read this book? Because I got a lot of different emotions from reading it. But what do you hope happens when people read this book?
I usually try not to say too much to the reader, but my intention in anything I've ever written is to make people laugh and to make people think. Particularly with this book, I will say it's the book I wish I had when I was growing up. And if you've ever struggled with who you are versus what you were taught to be and trying to navigate those spaces, again, like, I think this book is for you. And you don't have to be gay to, like,
at all
reach that. And that was one of the things that was also, to your question, why do some people not always want to be out? Because I think when you lead with gay, people immediately box you. They think, oh, straight people won't want to read it, particularly like straight men won't want to read it. Like, you know, even on the back of the book, like the blurbs, it's a wide list of different types of people. I've been getting hit up by like all types of people. So like for that, like it's just literally, I didn't invent anything different. It's a coming of age story for the most part, but it's just from my perspective, which I don't think has been there.
Experiences that everybody has. At some point, every kid has, every guy has gotten somebody with braces, scraping up their penis and the blowjob.
Yeah, and good content is good content at the end of the day. Like, I see what you mean by not leading with gay, though. I mean, that's why I listen to the read, because they're just humorous people. You know what I'm saying? They're funny. I like what they talk about.
Yeah, but people can just get boxed in. It's just like, that show is so huge just because they're very great at what they do.
That's it.
They just happen to be.
Some things are just universal.
Yeah.
Like conversations, like unfortunate dates, people that treat you like ish.
Yeah.
Family problems, you know.
And even if you're not from that world, you can relate. Like when Kid Fury starts talking about bottoms and how we need to start a GoFundMe for bottoms and stuff like that and pray for them. I laugh. That's humorous.
A GoFundMe? No, but yeah, like I just think a lot of people still assume that I'm just very limited because of all of those things. So it's good for me, thankful to be in spaces like these to show folks like it's okay. No one's gonna be that afraid. Like I think people, if you give them a chance, are a bit more forward.
Yeah, things are universal. Like you think about, how do I want to lose my virginity? I want it to be somebody that I'm in love with and I care about, and it to be this great experience.
I still see that person all the time in Harlem. It's so funny.
The one that you lost your virginity to?
Yeah, it wasn't a great experience.
At all.
He dumped you because you don't suck dick?
You could press charges.
What happened? Tell us now. He raped you?
I wouldn't use the word rape or assault. It's come up in another interview. Only other one.
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
No, I would just say you learn a lot about consent, and it wasn't an ideal situation. I wouldn't even think to press charges because I think people don't know a lot about consent and how things should go. So that was like very much a learning lesson.
Was alcohol involved?
Yeah, a lot of alcohol was involved, and I wasn't really in like a.
Has he ever apologized, or do you know if he's read the book? And
I don't think he's read the book. I've gotten the congratulations, but
then he didn't read it.
The people who actually like bought it, they tend to send the book to me or like let me know. So I don't think he bought it, but it's fine. I hope he's well.
When you see him all the time, and what do you speak? Y'all don't speak, y'all.
No, I speak. The thing is, I actually don't. I bet, and if he read it, he would look at it in an entirely different way because he didn't know in the time. That doesn't excuse it.
Right.
And I might be a little bit more forgiving than most, maybe I even should be, but that also comes from, I'm from a place of forgiveness right now, so trying to stick to that. No, not an ideal situation. I do speak, but, it was definitely something I learned from, and definitely have made sure
So it's one of those things, like I remember Teen Vogue had the question, is drunk sex rape? So it's one of those type of things.
Yeah. And it wasn't just like drunk, it was kind of like I was deeply intoxicated. So and it's something I didn't. I don't remember. I don't think so. No, actually, no. Yeah, that was just something I had to learn from because I didn't even really think of myself in that way until I like really had to sit down and like write this out. Because I've been working on
was that? What age was that?
I was 22, 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you did wait a long time. Did you feel like a late bloomer?
I am a late bloomer.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little awkward. I'm working through that.
You used to be scared of the dick.
Nah, I thought this handle like a real bitch.
Hey.
Well, actually, no, I'm selfish.
It seems like you suck dick with resting bitch face. Like
wow, you lazy motherfucker.
No.
I am so disgusted.
No, this is not fair. For the record, you get tricks and with a smile if I'm really into you. Again, if I'm really into you, it's a good time. It's just.
Do you make eye contact, or is that weird?
Do I make eye contact? Oh, yes, I have. The last time, but that was like...
I always feel like that's weird.
That was years ago.
You like it?
I don't want to look at you. Like, let me go to work.
I always feel like it's weird because I know a lot of people do that. They be like...
I have made eye contact, but like, no, you're doing a job. Go to work. Focus.
See how he does it? It's not him doing it. It's the other person.
So you like getting head, but you don't like giving it?
Selfish.
Who doesn't like getting head?
I eat ass. Does that not make balance?
Oh, okay.
I would rather do that.
I eat ass. Okay.
Thank you.
So what's up with this new guy? Has he read the book?
He has read the book. He has read the book.
What did he say to you about it?
So that's the weird thing. I'm realizing people are going to know a lot about me before they actually meet me. So that...
And he wants to ask you something so bad.
I'm not going to ask him.
You know what you want to ask.
What I want to ask him.
You want to know how you eat ass but don't suck dick. I see it in your eyes.
Look, I mean,
that's a good question, though.
I'm working through some things still.
I feel you, Michael. You go to therapy?
You know what? I will... No, but I actually genuinely need to. I didn't mention it in here, but I actually tried therapy at 19, and the guy actually sent me away.
Sent you where?
Your story was too much.
I think it was a white guy who didn't know what to do with like some lanky black teenager being like, I need therapy. It's like
that's even worse.
Yeah, I think that's what. Because I remember asking my mom to like refer me because I was still on her insurance. I will. By the way, I will suck dick more. I will. Okay. I will be better about
Please,
that. Yes.
Michael.
Yeah, sorry. This is probably helping the book, but not my dating life. He has read the book though. That's that
should be the title of your next book, by the way.
What?
I will suck dick more.
I have the second title. It's I don't want to die poor because
it
rhymes.
Yeah.
I will suck dick more. I don't want to die poor.
I can't date Jesus. Pick it up right now.
And by
I'm
the
reading
way,
that today.
Michael Arceneaux will be at Angela's Book Club.
Yes,
which
thank
is
you so
going
much.
Down in Brooklyn on Tuesday at West Stack Ivy. So thank you so much. Thank you, Tasha,
I'm reading
for making
this
it
today.
happen.
Let
I'm
me
really
know what
excited
you think.
for this.
Thank you. I'm excited too.
I can't date
Thank
Jesus.
y'all so much
Love,
for having
sex,
me.
family, race, and other reasons I've put my faith in Beyonce.
Buy it. Thank you.
My goodness. It's the Breakfast Club. I ain't going to... Michael.
Arceneaux. We close
Arceneaux.
up. Yeah.
Arceneaux. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.